This is the GJRB Online Network. Well, I didn't get a chance to get the theme opening ready for this program, so I'm just going to start it cold with our regular theme. Welcome to the Saturday Extra. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere across America. And like I said before, I had to start off a little raw today because I didn't have my opening set up. It's just one of those days where I just get too busy to get things ready on time. So that's one of those things today. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome. And it's part of our Saturday Free For All. Hello, everyone. Hello, everywhere across America. And welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online on Spreaker, GJRB Online on Castbox. It's GJRB Castbox 5. And that's where you hear our show right now. Welcome to it. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra is on the air. Hope you'll stick around for an afternoon of talk radio at its best. Best variety of music, talk, fun. It's a Saturday free-for-all. I mean, that's a Saturday Extra, and every once in a while we're going to do it. Where I just don't have that much material for a show, and maybe I'm not exactly ready to start with my main theme. So every once in a while I'll start like that, what I call the Saturday free-for-all. And we have Law Attraction already in the room. Welcome, Law Attraction. Welcome to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra Free-for-All. That means whatever happens, whatever, whenever. Just leave the lines open. It's just a blast of different things. And welcome to the show. I hope you'll stick around. We got a lot of stuff coming up in our show. We thought we'd talk about a few things. First of all, I'm going to be off the air this week. Could you wait? Not that I'm not wanting you to call, but the reason I'm saying this is because I do a thing at the opening of my show, because this is my program. This is how I do things. I open up with to get things started, a monologue. Just various things that I want to talk about first, lead into some weather and stuff, maybe a heartbreak. And then I go into open lines, open phones, whatever. So the first half hour, I liked it to be mine because I do a lot of stuff to open up the show. Okay. In radio, especially talk radio here in the United States, most talk radio hosts usually have a opening monologue. Usually something that we want to open up with. Get things started first. Maybe devise a topic, various things like that. So I really don't, I really would like to wait, just wait a while, and then I'll take phone calls. If you don't want to, I can understand it. Here we go. Black Dragon's always telling me that, I don't want people telling me how to do my program. If you don't like it, that's fine. But this is how I run my show. I know that you people don't like the fact that I'm a broadcast professional. But I am. I'm a broadcast professional. That means that I run my radio station like a radio station because I don't care. Black Dragons is getting his issue. People telling them, well, this is not a radio station. This is not, I don't care. This is internet radio, okay? So internet radio means that I'm going to run this like a radio station. I'm not going to be, having you telling me how to run my show. Okay, that's just right off the bat. What I mean is free for all is that once I get through my opening commentaries, my opening monologue, get through my opening stuff, then I open up the lines. So if you're going to give me disrespect, I understand you're going to give me disrespect, but I would rather you... What's this white John Russen? What the heck is that? Okay, if you're going to give me that kind of disrespect, again, I'm going to warn you before I even get started. Okay, I'm going to warn you before I get started. It says right on the very beginning of this program, and there's rules to this show. It may be free for all, but there's rules to this show. First off, you treat me with respect. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for much. You don't have to pay to give me respect. It's free off the bat, okay? I'd appreciate it if you do that. All right? I just appreciate it. Don't tell me how to run my show. Don't tell me how to, that I'm not because I'm a career broadcaster. If you don't like it, too bad, leave. This is how I run things. Okay? Well, you're not a radio, I'm a radio professional. I have an AA degree in broadcasting. I graduated from college. I took 3 broadcasting courses. 3. Columbia School of Broadcasting on record when I was 11. Then I went to the Ohio School of Broadcasting in Cleveland, Ohio. Then, a number of years back, in the early 2000s, I was in Moline, Illinois, at the Black Hawk Community College, where I took more broadcasting courses. And I worked at the TV station there called WQPT, PBS station, on campus. And I did master control for the television station, Black Hawk Community College in Moline, Illinois. They had a station there, WQPT channel 24. At the time was UHF analog. Then I saw digital come in at WQPT. I saw digital come in, and I saw the conversion right as it was happening at the TV station. I saw history happening there. Okay. And, just all I ask, if I was working at a radio station, I would comply to their rules, their situation there. And all I ask is, no violent, no sexual content is strictly prohibited. That means foul language too. So don't give me any cussing, swearing, or anything else. I would appreciate it if you'd be nice and you could be here. Because I've already blocked 2 people on here. One that was being very, very nasty, giving me filthy language. And this young lady called me a name referring to a woman's body part. That's all I'm going to say from that point. I didn't appreciate it. And I blocked her. I'm not putting up with it. Okay? So, that's all I'm saying. And Black Dragons will tell you that. He'll tell you that. Anyhow, getting back to that. This week, I'm going to be off the air because the station here, GGRBLI, is getting a new computer. I'll be getting it Wednesday. It's a laptop. Because this one here, you're doing in a right way. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to get a new computer this week, so I'm going to be off the air, and I probably have to take time to transfer all my files from this computer to the new one. So I'm going to probably be off the air for a while. while I'm getting stuff done. I'll probably be going through all my files here, all my music files and everything, and deleting some old stuff and getting rid of some stuff so that I don't have that much to upload. Because I'm going to be transferring files. That kind of takes a while to do that. I don't know how long, but I'm going to be working on that. Plus, be putting programs on it as well, including OBS Studio. I'm going to be doing some videos. I'm going to be doing some stuff maybe on YouTube. Adding voice tags, tough, unsightful, powerful. Where does this unsightful come from? I don't have time. I mean, I was lucky I even threw in the show's title and the bit of synopsis that I wrote in. I was busy today. I was getting things ready to prep for the show. So I really gave all that much time to do all that. Okay, so I don't always have time to do that. I do have a document I use, which I copy-paste, which makes it a lot faster. Boom, 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 it's up there, it's ready to go. But I didn't have time to do that today. I was getting things ready to go, and my wife needed to get some things done. So there's other things I do besides this. So that's how that goes. Anyhow, I do a little bit of this and that, and we'll talk a little bit and play music. I have a lot of the music that I get. Is from emerging music sites. Like, I have one called SoundCloud. I use that from time to time. And a thing called Reverb Nation. And I play new emerging artists. I have a own separate form of music. I play different songs from unknowns, independent labels. Plus, I throw in some popular ones from here and there, but not all the time. I'm kind of being careful about that lately because I want to put my show on other platforms. So I'm trying not to violate copyright. So I'm just playing emerging artists, new music. A lot of it's good music, just as good as, let's say, the pop songs on the radio, on terrestrial AM, FM. I play some really good stuff there, like Black Dragons. And Black Dragons plays some really good music, so check him out every night, 7 to 9 p.m., right here on CastBox. Plays new emerging artists, brand new songs. That's Black Dragons Radio, and 7 to 9 p.m. right here on CastBox, Monday through Friday. And he puts on a good show, does some really good jamming and slamming. So I always say it. New emerging artist. And I got some friends over, and now I'm on Spreaker too. I like to be on various platforms. I'm a network with multi-stations. So, your 7 p.m.s in almost any morning. 7 p.m.s. What? That doesn't make sense. Your 7 p.m.s is almost my morning. 7 p.m. Oh, his 7 p.m.s are your morning. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably be your morning. I tell time though in Universal. So I tell time in Universal because I had a shortwave radio at one point. And I used to listen to shortwave, and I learned the UTC, Universal Time Clock. So it would be right now here. It's 3:13 p.m. Central American Daylight Time. Right now, 3:14 actually. So over in UTC, it's 21 hours 14 minutes. UTC. And I use UTC so we don't get time confusion. And so, because I had a shortwave, I kind of miss it because I used to have a shortwave radio. It burned out, and I'm looking for another one that I'll have to pay so much money for. I don't know why shortwave radio is so expensive, but it is, unfortunately. but to get a really good one that I can listen to foreign countries. But I always loved listening to BBC. Back in the 70s, I used to listen to Radio Nederland, Dutch World Broadcasting in Hilversum, Holland. There's a guy on there, his name was Tom Meyer, had a show called Happy Station. Used to listen to that every Sunday. He was fabulous. No, I'm not working for a communist news network. I don't like CNN. I don't like CNN. I don't like Don Lemon. I don't like CNN, period. I just don't like their spreading lies, which is what most of their news is. It's not entirely the truth, okay? Speaking of which, I want to talk about that today. Hear about this? President Biden apparently, I guess, tripped and fell down the steps while with the planes. I saw the picture of it, and I said to myself, that looks familiar. Because I remember back in 1974 when I was it was in my teens, and saw President Gerald Ford, former President Gerald Ford, who took over as president after Richard Nixon resigned, and he fell down the steps. So, they're making a big deal because he fell down the steps. Many presidents fell down the steps of a plane. Not just him, okay? It's just that simple. That's just maybe a tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Many, many presidents fell down the steps coming off of Air Force One. That's not new. Not by a long shot, anyway. Let's see. We're going to take a look at some news. This is real quick here because I want to do some talking here and do a quick here and see what's going on news-wise. Overseas spectators will be banned from the Tokyo Olympics due to COVID-19 risk. Check that out. This is interesting. We'll have that story coming up. Also, a few other ones while we're in the afternoon, so we'll have something to comment on. And let's see. Wait till this comes up. It takes a little while for these phones to. I have like two phones, my regular one, and an old tablet, which seems to like to act up quite a bit, but it works. And probably have my other computer as well. But here it is. Spectators from overseas will be barred from attending the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Organizers from the event said the move to reduce the possibility of spreading the coronavirus at the games and boost TPID support for the event among Japanese. The Tokyo Games are set to open July 23rd, a year later as planned, after the pandemic forced a delay. The decision on the spectators' levels for those in Japan will be made in April, the local organizers are stating. Tickets sold to overseas spectators will be refunded, and according to the organization, they're saying that. Around 600,000 tickets have been sold to people based outside Japan, and about 4 million of people in Japan. So, wow, they got like a lot of tickets sold for that event. That's quite a bit of tickets sold for an event that, really, I'm surprised that they're even holding it due to the COVID. Today is Iranian New Year. That's what we call it. We call it Nowruz. Oh, well, Happy New Year to Iran. Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year to Iran. Always propaganda. Yeah, maybe so. Let's see, anything else interesting? Let's see. We got a lot of stuff here. A lot of times on Saturdays, sometimes I take a day off here. I'm in America, USA. Still love baseball. Grew up loved baseball. Wanted to pitch when I was a kid. So I always kind of enjoyed baseball in the summer and the spring. Here in the Midwest, I live in, Iowa, and the popular team here pretty much is from Chicago, such as the Cubs and the White Sox. But I'm more toward the Cubs because I've been a Cubs fan since I've been in the Midwest. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, grew up in western Pennsylvania, a town called Ambridge, which is about 14 miles into the suburbs, south suburbs of Pittsburgh. I've been there I grew up there in Pennsylvania, but I moved here because I met a girl in this area back in the late 80s. Moved over here from Chicago. I was living there working in an insurance company, and that quite didn't work out. I stayed there for about 5 years, but then things were starting to get kind of weird, and we were fighting and things weren't going good, and she kept me up at night, and I lost my job because I got caught sleeping on the job, which is something I was kind of always been ashamed of. And it wasn't really entirely my fault. It was just that I wasn't getting the amount of sleep, and resulted in me getting canned. But the company was sorry they had to let me go. But I said, I understand. I violated your rules. I violated your the company policy, and you have a right to let me go. And I certainly do understand. And we kind of ended on positive terms, but haven't been in Chicago ever since. And don't know if I want to go back. It's crazy there now. But I do like Chicago. I got a sister who lives in the suburbs, a town called Mokina, which is the south suburbs of Chicago, around pretty close to Joliet. And I've always liked that area too as well. It's great. Let's see. Going to be doing weather on the fives here in a few minutes for the nation, and I usually kind of do the Clinton area weather forecast because, like I said before, I simulcast this on a low, short FM frequency, which only goes maybe about, I'd say, not even a block. But I like I said, I've wanted to do radio since I was a kid, and I thought the devices they came out with that let a person just broadcast on FM on a short signal was the greatest thing they ever came up with, because it makes me feel like I'm on the radio, even though I'm only heard maybe about not even a half a block. It's just that feeling, and that's why I use that. And then part of my professionalism is, doing radio and having it over a local signal. Yeah, it's kind of like what they call CC, closed circuit television. Well, this is kind of like closed circuit radio. It's only heard within about maybe a half a block, not even a half a block. When you pull out of the parking lot here, it's gone because there's a lot of stations around it, and it gets overpowered once you leave the premises. But, of course, the person can tune in on the internet by flipping over and listening to the rest of the way from where they're going. Let's see here. Don't see anything else interesting at this point. So I thought we'll just kind of get ready to do our weather on the fives. It's kind of a thing I call weather on the fives, where it means I do weather every 30 minutes and 25 minutes past the hour, or 20 or 55 past the hour. And that's what I call weather on the fives. And it's just a feature I do here on this program. My voice gets hoarse every once in a while because I talk a lot, and that's why I play music every once in a while, to take a break from the monotony there of talking a lot. So if I play music, I'm just taking a break from talking a little bit. It gives my voice a rest too. Let's see here. going to pop in and get and hear my phone and get my weather up, because we're going to be doing that next. Weather on the Fives on GJRB Online here on Spreaker, being brought to you by our GJRB website. You can stop in and see our GJRB website. That's GaryJ655.wixsite.com/website. And a lot of times I do live streaming. I usually put the stream on my website. But this computer acts up. It makes it sound like I'm warbling. So sometimes what I do is I try to avoid getting on the internet here on the computer because it does that, or it makes me skip like a bad CD. That happens too sometimes. And so if I have people listening to me, I don't like to screw the quality. So that's what that is. Weather nationwide, American weather. I can give you weather for Iran. I just have to look that up. I don't. Just tell me what's your weather like right now in Iran? Just curious. What kind of weather do you have there right now? I'll look that up. I'll try to put that on the on my weather map. And make it a part of the program, because usually people I first contact, and it's an area I have never really tried to look up. What I'll do is I will add that area to my weather list, because I like to serve the information and let people know what it's like there. But here in America right now, why don't we do that right now? Check this out. A little past the hour. I even have a pretty introduction which needs some work. I need to fix my introduction for weather, because it's a little overbearing and a little overmodulated. So I'm going to be changing that pretty soon. But here it is.
Now, a nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's Weather on the Five.
Yeah, let's take a look at it right now. There's relatively quiet weather expected today through the weekend across much of the U.S. and the Northwest. There's a storm now bringing some mountain snow and the lower elevations of rain today into Saturday. Gusty winds could produce a near fire conditions today over New Mexico and the southwest Colorado. A strengthening storm next week could bring some areas of heavy rain and snow and even some gusty winds into the central U.S. So pretty much that's what we're getting here. Pretty nasty. 10 degrees. Now, that's Celsius, isn't it? Using Celsius on your temperature, 10 degrees and cloudy. Celsius. Because I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But 10 degrees, okay. Because I hear that you guys get pretty hot there in Iran, too. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I know that we're heading into our spring here in the USA. So I don't know. You're under a different hemisphere, I think. It's not hot. You're in a different hemisphere, I think we're in the southern hemisphere. I have to look that up. I'm not really good in geography. Never was. I just know pretty much how that goes. But let's see here. I want to get this ready here, because it is now 21 hours and 28 seconds UTC, and we're going to take a hard break here and kind of give my voice a brief rest here while I check some things out. And since I really didn't get anything local on my weather side from my 9-foot side, my closed circuit side, I usually just run promos today, just the Spreaker promos, and do that. And let's see, why don't we do my theme like I usually do anyway, and then we'll open up for calls and stuff, and just do it Saturday free-for-all today on GJRB Online. That's here on that's on Spreaker, GJRB, Castbox 5, and wherever you're listening across America. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll be right back with more of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, after this brief break on the GJRB Online Network.
You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming, and programming in other great music formats, like blues, urban, including rap, also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy.
There's a movement going on of people migrating off Facebook because of shadow banning and being put in Facebook jail for something they posted. This is called censorship and shouldn't be allowed in a free country of America. We shouldn't have to tolerate it. The new place for free speech is MeWe. There you can say anything without being censored. Join the site where you are free to speak. That is MeWe, M-E-W-E, MeWe, the internet's free speech social site.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded to go public every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central and run live every third Friday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on GJRB. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between, like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop for a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. Violators of this law could get a suspension of their driver's license and a $250 fine. When you see a school bus stop at a corner, letting off kids, stop 25 feet away from the bus. Don't take that chance. A public service announcement from the National Highway Safety Administration and GJRB Online.
Ed Delgado has his opinions, and he will make them known.
I'm sorry, I got no room in my heart, no mercy in my heart for a child molester, pedophile.
To me, when I think about monsters like that, there is only one sentence to me that is acceptable, and that literally is the death penalty.
Politics, entertainment, wide variety of topics.
I like to point out the racial hypocrisy that goes on from the racist left as they try to project that onto the conservatives and the right.
Listen to great talk radio at its best. It's Rush Limbaugh, the caramel conservative. Ed Delgado, Tuesday nights live on Spreaker at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, here on Spreaker, and rebroadcast Saturdays, just ahead of the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network.
And welcome back to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra Free for All here on GJRB Online. And that means you can be part of the program, get into the act, and do that stuff. Yeah, that's right. I do have a jingle. I took that from an old jingle of a defunct local station. Found a G, a J, an R, and a B in the call letters, and then I just clipped it with an Audacity and came up with my jingle, which I'm proud of that jingle. And it's part of, if you ever listen to my oldie show, which I get to listen to Spreaker, because I do play, I'll admit, on my oldie shows I do play copyrighted. There's a lot of these oldies that never get played anymore. And I'm talking about songs from the 50s and the 60s. And these, I'm 60. So, I'm 60 years old. So it's part of this is my era. And back in those days, you had disc jockeys and jingles and top 40 and all that. And we have legends here. WLS. And, I kind of grew up with that kind of radio. In the background, you're listening to a pretty piece of music called Heaven. And that's a great piece of music, and I like playing it from time to time here. And that's a great orchestrated piece of music from an artist. It's just fabulous. The Blues of Orion, the name is. This is called Heaven, and you're listening to the Saturday Extra on GJRB. Great piece of music there. That is Blues of Orion and Heaven on GJRB Online. Got a lot of great instrumentals like that. As a matter of fact, another thing I was raised on back in the days of early radio in Pittsburgh, especially across America, we back in the 60s and the early 70s, there were radio stations that played just instrumentals. It was on FM. It was called Beautiful Music. And it was pretty good. It was soft music, and a lot of radio stations would play this. 15-minute intervals of music with maybe a commercial or something, advertisement. But it was called Easy Nights. That's why I call this. I call that show Easy Nights, and it's basically instrumental versions of popular music. And you had guys like Montavani. He was popular. Let's see, 101 Strings. It was mixed with stuff like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, some of the softer songs from them. And it was called Beautiful Music Format. Most of the stations were instrumental, and they were automated. But they usually had sometimes a local person in there in the morning doing news and stuff. But I've always liked that kind of music at night. It helped me to relax. I used to get stressed out at school when I was growing up, and especially in high school. And I used to get pretty tense. And I needed that music to just calm my nerves, because I was always a nervous person. I had nervous habits, and led to no good sometimes, because then I started taking up smoking, and was not good when I was in my 20s. So it was one of those things that electronic music is good. As a matter of fact, I like electronic music a lot of times for commercials too, as well. Just electronic music. I have some electronic music, but not that much. I'm just getting into that at this point. Not really, really knowing the artist in an electronic field, but I do play some of that. But I get into a lot of the old Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, Beatles, stuff like that, mostly. 70s stuff like Van Halen and all that. So I'm more of a rocker than anything else. My wife gets into more of the Bee Gees. I was more of a rocker. Led Zeppelin, The Who, Janis Joplin, going back to like Jimi Hendrix. A lot of that. Nirvana's good. I played a lot of their stuff. It was just a shame that their demise was a result of someone in that band killing themselves. It was just Metallica, not that much. I really don't listen to all that much. Korn's all right, but I really kind of don't get that hard. I mostly get into the really classic rock. Like I said, The Who, Genesis, Van Halen, and all that. That's more or less my kind of sound. I grew up in that era, so I kind of like that kind of music. Ozzy Osbourne's all right. Yeah, one time I remember, I still laugh to this day. He did the national anthem for the Chicago Cubs baseball game, and it was amazing because this is a guy who does heavy metal, but yet when he did the national anthem for the Cubs baseball game, he sounded horrible. I don't know if he was on something or what it was, but oh man, he sounded bad. His wife does a lot of stuff now on television. She does a talk program, I think on CBS. It's a woman's kind of roundtable type talk show on American television. And she's not bad. She knows, she's a pretty smart lady. Very smart lady indeed. Absolutely fabulous. Let's see. Let's see what else we can get. You're welcome to get into the act. We got some really good stuff coming up. This is a Saturday free-for-all, Saturday Extra, heard every Saturday here on GJRB Online. Although I think I'm going to probably take next Saturday off because, like I said before, I'm just going to see what happens first. Let's see how well and how I can get my laptop set up. If I get my laptop set up and everything's going cool, I probably will be on the air, but if not, I'm going to probably take a break on one Saturday, and I'll probably take that Saturday off. Just kick back. Usually I do that from time to time because sometimes I need to give my voice a rest every once in a while. Because, like I said before, I could do a 3-hour talk show, 2.5-hour talk show, but I don't. I can attack government. I love, like I said, I like free country here in America. The reason for that is because I like to badmouth the government. Because I still believe sincerely that they're hiding a spaceship in Nevada. I really believe that. I believe that there's a great deception coming, and they're going to use space aliens as a trick. It's, it's what it is. I really have stood for that, because there's something about the fact that we're living in a time when the government doesn't really give us the full truth, and I just believe it. It's hard to express your ideas in here. It does. For a reason. I've kind of shied away from a lot of stuff. I come on here. I come on the other platform called Podbean, and I was treated with disrespect. So sometimes I do have trouble expressing myself. I was brought down, and I was confident, but along the way, I have a tendency to kind of hesitate on saying too much. And I know, I don't know what your government allows over the internet. And I don't know if being Podbean or here. I like it here. Podbean, I've been on there a couple of times, and I got nothing but disrespect. I get trolls there quite often. And YouTube filtered in Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm on, I do a YouTube channel called GJRB TV on YouTube. As a matter of fact, I'll be back on there as soon as I get my, as soon as I get my computer. I'll be doing videos on YouTube, on the GJRB TV YouTube channel, and I'll be showing videos. I'm going to do a video version of the show I did yesterday, way out there, and I'll show some pictures and weird stuff. Now, there's that picture of that house that you talked about that was on fire, and he showed a figure in the window. I will show you that video. It's really spooky looking. And I have a few other ones. So, yeah, I'll be showing some videos as well. It's going to be coming up real soon. The GJRB TV YouTube channel, I'm going to do various things. I got TV trivia. I got classic TV and local TV from different parts of the country here in the U.S. And I do some foreign TV stations, too, as well. I've found some rare stuff from Australia from their television, and a few other really interesting, neat stuff there that I find. It's amazing what you can find on YouTube. It really is. I hope you're managing it well. Managing what? I'm managing whatever I can. It's okay here yet. Though they're talking about making this a socialist country, which kind of upsets me, because I grew up in the United States of America. Always meant freedom, always meant go to our borders. My videos, yeah, I do pretty good with it. It's been a while since I've done it. The last time I did a video, I was using another program called XSplit, but it was not agreeing with this computer. It was weighing it down. Just too much, requires too much CPUs. So I kind of deleted it off the computer because it was making my show freeze, and it was not working right. So I'm saving the video for my new computer, which will have better capabilities of transmitting video than this one. And I'm going to be probably taking all the files off this one and putting it into it because it's getting old. I'm surprised it hasn't crashed by now. The last couple of computers I've had crashed. I had two of them. One of them before this one. That was a Dell Pentium, and that crashed one day. The motor. I can't remember exactly what happened to that one. This one has had an overhaul, It works real good. One number of years back, the fan quit, and it burned out my motherboard, and I had to get a whole new inside the computer. It had to be rebuilt. My friend that does very good with computers rebuilt it for me, and it worked out real well. And I've had this computer since then. It's worked out really well, but I think it's coming to the end of its rope. Like I said, I'm surprised that it hasn't collapsed by now. And it's an old desktop computer, which I'm beginning to think that the laptop computers are getting more popular than the desktop computers. They are more, I think they can hold more and do more of a better job than the desktops. Like I said, desktops have been around for quite some time, but I'm seeing a trend toward more laptops than desktop computers at this point. And I see that. So that's why I went that direction. And not only that, I can take it with me, along with my music files, over to the church studios. I have another studio beside this one, and it's at our Church of Christ here in Clinton. So I have 2 radio studios. The other one I use basically for working on radio shows, but because our church internet is not the best. It's kind of, let's put it this way. The fellowship hall is very huge in his church, and it's hard for the Wi-Fi signal to go all the way across from the office, all the way across the room to where I'm at. So they got a booster. That booster sometimes doesn't always work correctly. I'll go in there and check to see how the internet is on my phone, and it's kind of weak. So I always have to tell my friend we need to maybe reboot the Wi-Fi sometimes. I think that's what it takes a lot of times. So what I'll do sometimes on certain days of the week here at this main studio is to, before I start on anything, I will reboot the internet manually by disconnecting off the back of the modem and for like about 10 seconds and then refreshing it, and the internet will work better. That's how I see that. All right, let me see here. I'm going to go into some more stories here. And let's see. Well, it's past that half-hour mark. You probably could. Peter Green. Oh, let me see what this is. Ooh. Okay, Shannon. Let me see here. Not very much news today. It's a slow news day, and Saturdays usually is. Search for it on SoundCloud. What is it called? B-A Baramji, B-A-H-R-A-M-J. Okay. No, I'm afraid I haven't really heard of that. No. Wow. Let's see. I do that. Let me see if I can search for that. Because we're getting close to the top of the hour. I usually do some national temperatures real quick here. I'll be getting into that. And I got a few other interesting things I want to talk about for our program schedule. So I'll talk about that. Like I said before, I have another station on Zeno. That's ZENO.FM. Now that is a site that I'm on, and it allows me to broadcast a 24/7 stream of continuous programs. So what I do is I take a lot of the programs I've done and repeat them over there. It plays online internet broadcast. In other words, everything runs on the internet, not off any computer. and I can run programs on it. It's pretty cool. And it's called Zeno.fm. And I will be on there with a 24/7. I have a 24/7 broadcast on there. And various formats, different programs. And I don't know, you could register. They do have even a prayer line, a prayer room, where you can put in prayer requests. It's a fabulous room, a fabulous place. And they do, like I said, I can run a 24-hour programming, and I do have a schedule based on internet, based on the Central Time Zone here. But a lot of times what it does is it's on online programming. So if there's nobody listening to it, it stops. The playlist stops. But it will start when you hit the play button. So I have a list of programs I put on there. Now it's quiet now because I haven't, I have to load up some programming on it. But I'm waiting. I'm kind of living it quiet for a while until I get my internet, my new computer. Then I'm going to be able to get a server put on that computer. And once I get the server put on that computer, I can broadcast live on Zeno. What it'll do is it'll stop my automation, and I can take over the board. And once my show's over, or if I get interrupted due to bad weather or internet drop, it'll just go back to my programming, and it won't be no dead air or anything like that. So that's how that works. I like it. I really do. I was introduced by my friend Black Dragons. He got me into it back in around Christmas, around the end of November, early December of 2020. So about the end of last year. And I did some programming on it. Did some test programming on it for Christmas, and it turned out pretty good. I played some holiday music and some old-time radio programs for the holidays, and it turned out real good. So, like I said, sometimes programs are scheduled on there, and then sometimes I just leave them up there for anybody to listen to whenever they want to. And I have various shows on there. Like I said, old-time radio. I have a show called... We have a meeting at our church. It's called The Last 7 Days. And what it's about is what's going on in the news, what's happening in the news, and it's based on, we kind of compare it to Bible prophecy. It's an interesting meeting, and I put a lot of those up there. They're both on Spreaker and here. I upload it, and in our church services, I record. I don't record those. The guy who runs Board Off at our church records those on video, and then they just piece it together, and then I put it up. I do that tonight. I edit that together, and that goes up on Spreaker on the public site. And I will later on put the church services up there as well. We'll broadcast our church services over the internet. That's available on the 24/7 stream. So once I get that back kick-started, you'll be hearing the church services on Sunday. I do a little bit of preaching myself. I'm not all that good, but I believe that Christ died on the cross for us and He saved us, we just need to really realize that every sin we ever committed, He died on the cross for. He suffered, and we have to realize that God is the one. When we go to heaven, just make sure that we sinned in our past, and we have. God paid, Christ paid that price, and so that we can have eternity with Him, and we never die. And that's important to know that. It really is. Okay, well, let's see. We didn't get to weather on the 5, so we'll do that in the next hour. Also coming up in the next hour, I usually will do is give you the national weather in the United States via what is called Weather Nation. Weather Nation is a 24-hour-a-day weather station, which is on the internet, which is, well, no, it's live stream, but it's a network that does weather, kind of like the weather. Like here in America, we have the Weather Channel. This is another cable channel, but not all cable services pick it up. But it's available on a Roku box, which is what I have, and I run the weather. I give you a national weather synopsis, so I play the weather on the 5s, and that'll coming up from Weather Nation right after the next hour here on GJRB Online. So with that in mind, I'm going to get you close to the hour here. It is 4 o'clock Central Daylight American Time right now, 4 o'clock p.m., 5 o'clock Eastern Time. That's in New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, all the way down the seaboard, all the way through the Carolinas and Georgia, down to Florida. All that area is now 5 o'clock. And if you're listening in Los Angeles, all the way up into the Pacific Coast and into Portland, Oregon, the time is 2:01 Pacific Time. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. And for UTC, it is now coming into 22:01 UTC right now. And this is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. This is the GJRB Online Network. And thank you so much. And it is 31 minutes past midnight there. 31 minutes past midnight. 0 hours, 31 minutes. Okay. You have an extra half hour tacked on compared to where we're at right now. It's 4:02 Central Time. You're about 30 minutes later. So you're, well, let's see, that's what, 8 hours ahead of us. 8 hours ahead of us. So it's late for you. You're up this late listening to me. Thank you so much. Oh man, wow, that's amazing. Okay. Oh, you're jobless. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. We got that problem here in the United States, but for me, it's a different situation, and someday I'll explain it. The reason why I don't work or can't work at this point. But coming up this hour on the program, stay tuned. We got some more stuff. Lines are open. You want to get in on the act and join the show? Glad you can do that. And there's a way you can do that right now. I'll tell you what it is. Check this out. Yeah. A lot of ways you get in. There's a chat room right here on CastBox, on GJRB CastBox. That's CastBox 5. And you can get it on the app by getting in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bit of It Show.
Have an app on your phone, and you can catch our show that way. And when you get that app downloaded, just look for the live feed that says the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra, and it has free for all the title. And I am ID 208-98367, Gary John Russen. And when you go into that, you'll see the thing. When you pull it up, it'll show you the program live. You hear me. You'll see the law of attraction there, so you can't miss it. And you can be part of the program. And of course, I do have my lines open. I don't think there's a way you can switch that off. It's enable, disable. So I think you can. I don't know. You click there, how you do it, but it's open for call-in. I don't get that many call-ins on this program until my sound is improved a little bit, because like I said, I have to get a better pair of headphones. These pair of headphones I have here are cheap, and as a result, sometimes I can't hear through them very good. It's coming. I'm listening through my radio. As I told you, I have a 9-foot FM signal that broadcasts on the FM dial. So I use that radio as a to listen to myself and what's coming through the air. So that's how I do it. I use my radio as a monitor. So that's one of the reasons why. It's not that the computer monitors don't work. The computer does work, but like I said, I am a FM AM junkie. Wanted to be on the terrestrial dial, just never got there for one reason or another. So that's pretty much how that works. But it makes me feel like I'm on the radio anyway. If I have this closed circuit 9-foot signal, that's I call eventually Spreaker FM 88.9 KSPR, being that here on the other side of the Mississippi, stations west of the Mississippi are K's. Stations east of the Mississippi start with W. And any station with call letters that start with C, that's Canada, and X is Mexico. So that's how that works. The stations have call letters here. Now, I noticed that in foreign countries, there is no call letters for radio stations. They're just called something. But here in America, we've always had 3 to 4 call letters. And it started with the beginning of radio back in the 1920s when KDKA, in my home city of Pittsburgh, started radio in 1920, on November 2nd, 1920, when they covered the Harding-Cox elections. That's what started radio, KDKA in Pittsburgh. They're one of the first radio stations, and that's why they kept their K in the call letters, because they were the beginning of radio. And before that rule was ever established of K's on the west of the Mississippi, and W's on the east of the Mississippi. So some stations here in the Midwest still have W's. Here in Iowa, we have WOC in Davenport, WMT in Cedar Rapids, here in Iowa. Then over further west in Des Moines, which is the state capital, here in Iowa, we have one. Those are the only exceptions. That is WHO in Des Moines, 1040 on the AM dial. They are they're the oldest stations. So they kept the W in the call letters because they're old stations and have been around since the beginning of radio. Alrighty, I want to say beautiful day here in Clinton, Iowa. Well, of course, we don't want to get you upset, but hey, we're warm up here. We're getting into we're getting more into the 50s here in Clinton. Of course, that's been like 42 here in Clinton today, 42 degrees. And it's supposed to get warm this week or get into the 50s again. We're getting spring. Today actually is. Here in America right now, we just crossed the spring equinox. We just went into spring this morning. So it is the first day of spring here in the American Midwest. Today, the first day of spring. So we're happy about that. I like spring. I hate winter, not my favorite time of year. Who said this? Who said what? Yeah, today's the first day of spring. Yep. Enjoy spring. It's my favorite time of year. Spring into summer. Summer is also my favorite time of year. Love summer, although it does get mighty hot here in the Midwest. Last year we had temperatures in the 90s, close to 100 century mark. And we had a lot of heat. We had a bad storm in August of last year. We here in Iowa, it's called a derecho, which is a inland hurricane. We had a lot of damage, trees down, power out for a week. Pretty bad storm rolled through here, and it was terrible. Did a lot of really strong rain, but we can. What's really common here in the spring and the summer here. Love that sentence. It shows power of English language. Okay, well, thank you for that. We had really common here in the Midwest in the spring and the summer is tornadoes. We can get those quite a bit. Last year, mostly the other part of the state, southern part of the Illinois, they can get tornadoes. They get bombarded with them quite a bit. We've been lucky that we've been close. I remember last year, a couple of years ago, a funnel cloud touched down near our airport here, which wasn't very far, but it dissipated before it got over here, so we were fortunate. But yeah, the tornadoes can do just as much damage. We just have to, watch that. I'm going to take a musical break here. Let's see if I find some more music here. I had music that Black Dragons got me into. It's a fabulous tune. We've been playing on our GJRB list. Got a few other songs I'm going to play. But I thought I'd just take a musical break for a while because I need to give my voice a little bit of a rest. It's getting hoarse again. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. So I'm going to take a little brief break, play that latest song that we have here on the GJRB playlist. Black Dragons introduced me to it. It's a fabulous tune. It's by Grace Mesa, and this is Riding the Heat Wave. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB online networks. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening across America. And around the world.
Talk to the right of the chalkboard.
TJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth.
She's got a lot of grace. See that girl in the window. She's got a lovely face. But what she doesn't know is that I won't make her mine. See that girl in the window. She's so fine. See that girl in the window. She's got a lot of style. See that girl in the window. She's got a lovely smile. She's putting on a show, rehearsing every line. See that girl in the window. She's so fine.
Yeah, Girl in the Window. That's one of our newest on our GJRB list. And these are songs you're going to be hearing on our GJRB's new up-and-coming Top 20. As a matter of fact, I also have another show called Up and Coming, which features all brand new emerging artists. So it's coming up here on GJRB, and of course I'll have another episode coming up real soon here on the GJRB online network. New emerging artists, brand new music, and of course the song it will enter into the top 20 survey, the week's biggest hits on our GJRB playlist. So that's one of the songs we play, Girl in the Window, and that's Gene Dawson, a new emerging artist. And of course you can check all these songs out on SoundClick. That's SoundClick. And they're an emerging site. The other one is Reverb Nation, ReverbNation, Reverb Nation. Those are two emerging artist sites that I use. Another one is the one that Black Dragons got me into, and it's a real good one too. It's a really neat site, and that is where I got the writing the heat wave from, and that's Premium Beats, which is absolutely fabulous. So check those places out for some of those songs. All right, let me see here. We're going to get ready for weather on the fives. Nationwide American weather forecast. Take a look at what's going on across the USA. And I'll be trying to work on a international weather update. I kind of have so many places in the world that I can do weather from. A lot of places in the world. A lot of times I do mainly England, some European countries. I try to do weather for them. I got check a lot about what I have on my site. I get a lot of listeners from England. I've been getting some English listeners from London and around England, so that's fabulous. But it looks like I'm getting a lot of Middle East, like Iran, and thank you so much for that. And thanks so much for the likes, by the way. We have Amar in the chat room. Thank you so much for stopping in, Amar, and joining us in the chat room. It's been absolutely fabulous. I get a great show. I love it when people come into the program. And it makes it more fun program when you have people in the chat room. And I've been on Spreaker. I started radio on Spreaker here on the internet back in 2012. And I really didn't get that quite a bit of listeners or anybody in my chat room at all. I used to doubt that I was even getting out. I was not getting any listeners at all, and there was really no proof to find out whether I was. And it was kind of depressing me for a while, because I have a lot. I like to see how many followers I have, but look how many followers I have, and yet it's not. I'm like, where's my listeners if they weren't following me on Spreaker? And that was my issue lately, and it's been kind of bumming me out, quite frankly, because I like being on here and talking to you folks, and I really appreciate everybody that is listening today and stopping into the show. That includes anybody who may be listening on Spreaker. And I'm over there. I checked both chat rooms to see if maybe perhaps somebody stopped in. There was one the other day that stopped in our Spreaker chat room, so I appreciate that. And I like to simulcast on 2 platforms because GJRB is not just a radio station but a radio network, and I have various stations that I use to broadcast on. And let's see, Law Attraction says, I love American culture, but people can't understand your art properly. I mean, some of them. Okay, I'm not really in that heavy into art. Not really. So I couldn't really tell you. We do, as far as some of them, okay. I'm not that heavy into art. I like paintings of some kind, some of the real well-known ones, such as Van Gogh, and that you're talking about Starry, Starry Night, or the Mona Lisa. But yeah, I guess performance is an artistic skill. Yeah, it is. Radio, television, movies. Yeah, I call it an art. It's classified under art. Most of the schools that teach the arts usually teach broadcasting, television, radio, media. But visual arts and stuff like that. But we have strange art. I know that. That's for sure. Comedy and everything. Not the really. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to do what I call a scroll through social media. That's where I go through my Facebook page, my Twitter, and I read some postings that my friends post and talk about them a little bit. Look at some news postings, some interesting things that might come up. So check that out.
Now, the nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's Weather on the 5.
And let's take a look at some of the nighttime temperatures from Weather Nation right now. Some of the areas that we take a look at. Seattle, Washington right now tonight is expected to drop down to 40 degrees. 39 degrees in Portland, Oregon. 33 degrees in Billings, Montana. 37 degrees in Bismarck, North Dakota. Going down the map a little bit, it's get a little warmer as you get further south. Omaha, Nebraska will be 45 tonight, 43 in St. Louis, and you get down into the deep south around Florida, 55 for Orlando, and it's only going to be 66 in Miami, Florida. And there is winter storm watch for people in Alaska right now, and up in Montana too. Alaska, Montana. Winter storm warning for some of those areas. Tomorrow, expecting these temperatures. Take a look there. 52 only in Billings, Montana. 47 in Salt Lake City. 45 degrees for Denver. Albuquerque, New Mexico is going to be 70. Get down to El Paso, 79 degrees in El Paso, Texas. 72 degrees in Dallas. And 77 for Orlando and Miami. So it's looking pretty good as you get warmer down south, as you get further south. 69 for Los Angeles, 62 for San Francisco at this time. So what we're going to do now is turn out the sound and give you our weather on the 5s from our good people at Weather Nation.
Welcome back to Weather Nation. Let's take you to Worcester, Vermont, where Marvel, the cat, was out there marveling in that beautiful winter scenery. Lucy, I tell you what, it still looks fantastic with a little bit of snow on the ground, that sun peeking through the woods. Not a bad day on this Saturday.
Not a bad day at all. Plenty of blue sky, a little bit of a breeze through those trees there, but it's a picture-perfect winter day. Well, first day of spring, I should say. That happened at around 5:30 this morning Eastern time, but it's beautiful across portions of Vermont.
And we're all hopeful that maybe it's now spring. We get some of that spring-like weather.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you, we do have spring-like weather across the Pacific Northwest because spring-like weather looks a little bit like this. Some rain and snow, and we do have ongoing heavy rain showers at points across portions of the Olympic Peninsula down towards Seattle and Portland. So we want to take you through our Viper radar and show you what we got out there. We're going to zoom down right along that border of Washington and Oregon here, and you can see just those heavier yellows. Those are indicative of that downpour activity moving in towards Portland and north towards Vancouver. Of course, that Vancouver, Washington, not Vancouver, Canada. We do have some of that heavier rain pushing inland too towards Stevenson as well. Some mixing here as you get into the higher chain locations. And so that will continue to be a factor as we move through the rest of your Saturday afternoon in towards Sunday as well. We do have that steadier snowfall in the mountains here, the Cascades, as you move to the east of Seattle. Right now it's making for some difficult travel over our mountain passes, certainly those wet roadways. We don't have any sort of lightning with these systems. But as we zoom down to the north portions of Seattle, Port Hadlock, Port Ludlow, getting into that heavier downpour here that you can see on our Viper Doppler radar. We've also got some pretty significant rain and snow ongoing for the Salt Lake City area in Utah. We've got some pinks mixing in here, and it's a lot of change in elevation very quickly over this portion of Utah. And so what happens here is we have rain in the city of Salt Lake, and then we have snow in the mountains. But in between, we do get into a little bit of that ice, and ice showing up as pink on our radar. You can see that from Oakley to Park City, getting into some of that ice too, but we would like to see some snow in Park City for any sort of spring breakers that may be heading up to the high country to ski. Alta, Utah, getting into that snow now. Salt Lake City, it's been a soggy day, and that carries us down towards Provo, Utah as well, up towards Ogden, also dealing with that rain here as we go through the day today. Bear River dealing with snow in Utah. Now the Rockies, at least the southern Rockies, are relatively quiet, but the northern Rockies showing quite a bit of activity. We do have rain ongoing for Billings, Montana. Earlier today, it was a little bit of a rain-snow mix, some sleet activity. We are now warm enough. We are getting to a warmer pocket to see snow up through that stretch. Cody, Wyoming, currently dry, but snow starting to fill into the valley between Cody and Sheridan. Down towards Riverton, Wyoming, dealing with a pocket of dry air, but rain and snow starting to develop off the mountains. Right now, IA looking good. I-25 getting a little bit dicey up towards Sheridan as you make your way off 25 and towards I-90, but more snow on the way for these areas. This system all going to continue to push to the east, Joe, and that's where you're tracking some of our next wet weather and severe threats too.
That's right. We'll be keeping an eye on the plains, on portions of the south into the days ahead, heading into next week, really, and that could lead to some river flooding too, in addition to that severe threat. Also keeping a close eye on some of those heavier snow bursts across portions of the Rockies. And we're going to see a big trough develop here. This is a big dip in the jet stream, our upper level low diving well to the south as we go through the next couple of days. This is stopped here around Wednesday night, so we'll be following this system into the days ahead. A lot of that Pacific moisture pushing east, but also will tap into the Gulf of Mexico. Big moisture source there, and that will help to fuel some of this rain and the potential for a little bit of thunderstorm activity. You want to stay weather aware if you're joining us from this part of the country, Dallas, North Texas, into southeastern Oklahoma. This is for Monday. We have a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms. Now, this is several days out, so it's likely we could see the risk increase a little bit as we get closer to Monday. But Dallas up towards Paris, Texas, Wichita Falls, Lawton, Oklahoma, through Oklahoma City, east along I-40 towards Fort Smith, Arkansas. That's kind of our area of concern at the moment. But even beyond, up into Missouri, Kansas, all the way down towards Louisiana and Arkansas, got general thunderstorm chances likely heading into Monday. Denver seeing that winter storm heading into Sunday night and Monday, and then soaking rain pushing its way all the way north into Minnesota. Some of those thunder stacking up along the front as we go into the days ahead. And we'll be keeping a close eye on some of that showery weather into the Ohio Valley, the southeast, and some wintry concerns on the backside of the system, as well as our next disturbance pulling out, giving us perhaps a better chance for some thunderstorms again. So looking at some heavier rain across the Missouri Valley, also some heavy snow up towards the Arrowhead of Minnesota, and some general rain pushing its way east. Now, we're hopeful we see a little bit more sunshine, though, because for many, Lucy, it's springtime and summer on spray.
That's right, Joe. And we are looking at Macon, Georgia right now with some buds in those trees. They saw some rain through Georgia throughout the end of last week, maybe bringing the pollen levels down, but certainly allowing for those trees to bud. In terms of additional rainfall this season leading to any sort of flood, well, this is the first year in 3 that we don't have any major flooding concerns, but along the Mississippi River Valley towards Kansas City, we do have that moderate outlook for some flooding along with Carolinas here. We are looking at a pretty warm trend as well as we head into the spring. That's per NOAA, but the flooding is going to be the primary concern for the Mississippi, Missouri rivers, as well as the Illinois River. You can see that all the way down towards Louisiana, portions of Louisiana through Memphis as well. We do have those flood alerts ongoing due to those high rivers that we're continuing to see here. We are going to watch that as we go through the spring. However, it's going to be a pretty dry forecast across the desert southwest with a little bit more moisture possible into the northeast. A reminder, you can watch us for free on Roku and Apple TV. Download it now. We'll be right back.
And that's Weather Nation. Heard you can catch Weather Nation if you live in the United States through your cable outlet. If they don't carry it, it's on Roku. Or you can just go to Roku and they'll put up the app. Or you can just check it out by going to Pluto TV. Weather Nation, 24 hours of weather. Gary J. Russen with you here on GJRB online, here on Spreaker, and GJRB Castbox 5. Bringing you the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on Saturday. And we're going to take a brief break here in just a little bit. And you can check out our stuff there. Yeah, I'll write some of that information down for you. Let's see. We have a lot of really good stuff. I'll take a break here, a musical break, and we're going to do that here in a little bit. And I'll play another great song. And this is an artist named Lisa May. And she's a Christian artist. And this is a great worship song, God So Loved, here on GJRB Online, Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, right here on the GJRB Online Network. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Yeah. My throat's dried. It is. Sometimes it just does that. I do that. It's just what it is. That's why I don't talk long periods of time. I like to take a music break. That's the reason. That's for sure. So we get to play here. I usually play music and my voice gets dried, and then I get something to drink. It usually helps out. Right now, though, this is Lisa May. Great Christian song here is God So Loved. Here on GJRB's from my Christian list. On the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra.
God so loved the world that He gave His one. Whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting love. I try so hard to find the words to say to let you know how great is this God to whom I pray. Nothing can or ever will compare to the peace that flows in your soul when He is living there. Oh, I know you've been through so much, it's hard to contemplate letting go and reaching out in trust. But I know the simple truth that love is here for you. So take Him at His word and see what He can do. So love the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever believes in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. The promise is yours and mine. Take hold of this love for the rest of your But it's time to take a step of faith. Be prepared for Jesus' love to carry you away. The world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever believes in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. Everlasting life. Yeah. You love me, God, so loved the world. He gave His one and only Son, one and only Son. If you just believe, if you just believe, He'll set you free. He'll set you
Been playing that a while. It's Lisa May and fabulous tune. I like that one. It's a cover song of a I don't know exactly who originally did that. It might have been not sure if I'm correct on this. I could stand corrected, but I think it was Hillsong United or Hillsong. Not sure exactly which, but they did that. It's a fabulous song. Could have even been one of the female artists too. I'm not exactly sure, but that's one of my favorites. I listen to GTRB online, and you'll find a lot of our shows. I will give you the details. You can find us GaryJ655.wixsite.com, which is my Wix website. There I have a picture of this history of KDKA on there, and a lot of the old radio. Pretty soon I'll be posting pictures of the old radio stars behind the microphone, such as Jack Benny, a lot of lot of the American classic comics. I believe in the old entertainment. I love the old entertainment, and that includes guys like Jack Benny, George Burns and Gracie Allen, stuff like that. I enjoyed that kind of comedy. That was great radio. Theater of the Mind. We here in America we are so tied to our televisions and our visual that we don't sit and really like listen to a radio story. You know, it used to be that before television, your mind was created by what you heard on the radio. Your mind created the picture. And a lot of the youngsters today don't realize the fun of actually listening to a story on the radio with the sound effects and everything. And, hearing that was good acting. And the thing about it is, back in the days, I would love to have lived in the days of radio, because I would have been an announcer then, or I probably would have been an actor. I probably would have taken an acting part, because really, it's easy in that you don't have to memorize a line because you're just reading off a script. But it's how you read the script. It's how you portray your character. You have to be your character. And it's something I thought about acting once. Never really had a speaking part in a play. I've been in plays, but I've never had a speaking part. But it's one of those pieces of art that I like, because drama, especially stories, acting, is one of those really, really great form of artist. If you can, and a lot of times though, really, and my mother, I guess she used to tell me this too, it's a competitive world like radio is acting in the motion pictures and television. Because in motion pictures and television, you have to memorize your lines, and you have to be really, you deal with picky directors, and it's not easy as it looks when it looks easy on television when you see the finished product, but you don't realize how much hard work that a lot of these actors do to do that product, to memorize their lines, to know their character, and to be able to be their character, which is just as important as being in acting. Law of Attraction says, yes, this speed of technology improvement is going to hidden the real enjoyments. And you're absolutely right. It's people don't realize the and that's why I emphasize old time radio, and that's why when I do Radioland, it's about old time radio. And I schedule these old radio programs like Black Dragons does. I only have different times when I do it. And it's usually like maybe once a week, once a month. Once a week I play old radio shows, and I'm doing like television does here. We have channels that play reruns. I'm doing that like here with radio. And I'm picking some of the best radio programs and rerunning their episodes in as much in order of the original airing of these episodes as possible. And I study a lot, not just the Bible, but also other things. And one of them is I can get my hands on old listings from the 1940s, the 1950s, and I can pile up all these old radio programs and play them in the original order and the original night that originally aired, and make it. I believe in making it sound like you were tuned in the past. And I got that idea from a Twilight Zone episode in which a guy purchases this radio, and no one else hears it but him. And what he does is he sits in his room and he listens to these old radio programs because he believes what happened was that his radio is trapped in the time that it was manufactured. And he's listening to these radio programs, but they're ghost broadcasts. No one else can hear them but him. And I got this idea of old-time radio. What if you tuned in the past? What if you got a hold of a radio and was tuning in a signal from beyond, the past? It's just one of those things that I thought, well, I could do that with the internet here and create. And I have old commercials. I have a lot of old radio commercials, even some old station identifications going back to the days of radio, and I got that with television as well. I even have some old radio soap operas, going back to here American soap operas like The Guiding Light was one of them. There was a Christian soap opera. It was called A Brighter Day. There's like old, but I do a lot of studying on the golden age of radio and television because that is a piece of history here in America, just like anything else. And I want to welcome ID 215-32004. Welcome to the room. I hope you stay around. Yeah, they come in, they check us out, they leave, they come back, check us out, leave. It's kind of like that. I always say it's kind of like the push button radio in the old car, driving along there, and if the station didn't like the song, you didn't like the song that station was playing, you push a button, boom, and that was your favorite song somewhere else. So I always believed in that. Law of Attraction says radio without commercials and music is somehow death. So death of radio. It takes money to, especially here in America, to operate a radio or television station, and it takes the station making a profit by running commercials. Now we have what is called public broadcasting here in America. That's PBS. That's NPR. These are radio stations that are community supported and they get their money from the listening audience. That's public radio. And then public television. And that is, I worked at a station that was public, and that was PBS, Public Broadcasting System. And we had, that was where our American Children's Program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, came from PBS. He was, the public broadcasting. That is community supported, which means that every so often they have to collect money from the listening audience. And they do that by pledge drives. And when I worked at WQPT in Pittston and here in Moline, I was a camera operator for that. Used to do I used to signal the host. I used to do floor directing. And I also did a lot of camera. One time I had to do camera and floor directing because there was no one else around. That was a challenge. But I have never really directed I never directed a program. With the switchers and everything. That takes a lot of skill and I'll tell you what, sound skill. You have to know when to switch cameras. That wasn't easy. Welcome Jalali, Jalai. Welcome to the room. Left, I guess. I don't see him on the list now. I like this. I know what I like about this Castbox is that they tell you who's in the room, who is actually listening, who's tuned in, who's listening. I like that listeners list. Spreaker never had that. Never had a listeners list. It was whoever I find who sends me a message in my chat room, but I never saw who was listening. And that's one of my favorite things about this. Now, Podbean does the same thing. Podbean is good. I like Podbean too. I like them as well. But they don't let me put my music up there like this one does. But I do that through the computer, through stereo mix on the computer. That's how I do that, and play the weather and stuff like that. But otherwise, this one and Spreaker are my favorites because I can put my music up on the board and play it. the other one, Podbean, you pretty much have to have your microphone opened in order to hear the music. And I think it's the same over here. And I wish they'd fixed that function. I'd like to get a hold of their top people and say, hey, you need to fix something on your board. Now, I have a suggestion to some of these people on how to run, because they're offering a service with this streaming and Bella broadcast and everything. They need to offer some, new things. They need to fix sometimes a few things. One of them is whenever I'm playing music, they should be able to allow me to shut my microphone off. But that's all right because I have an external mixer that does that for me. All I do is just turn my microphone down, and my voice goes off like that. So I can do that way. That's no big deal. But may God bless Podbean. Yeah. So are you over there too? Do you listen over Podbean? I got two stations over there. It's GJRB2 and GJRB3. And they are where I do some of my shows. I rotate my shows between Spreaker, Podbean, and this one. And, of course, I will, on my schedule, I'll put on my schedule what platforms my shows are available on, so you know where to find them. But Zeno will be where my main broadcast is going to come from. I'm going to be broadcasting on Zeno and simulcasting on Spreaker and here. So because Zeno is going to be my main station. Unfortunately, I am not there. Okay. Black Dragons is on Podbean and here. And a lot of they got some great podcasts on here, Joe. I listen to other people's podcasts besides doing mine. And the reason for that is coming up next hour. I do a segment where I promote other podcasts. Other podcasters. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be starting another survey of my top 25 podcasts. These are the ones that I listen to besides doing mine. These are podcasts that sometimes I rebroadcast over my 24/7 stream because they give me permission to do so. So if you're one of those that has your own program here on Castbox, let me know what time you come on, and I will listen to your program. And if I like your program, and I think you got a real good content, and I think it's fabulous to my listeners on GJRB 24/7, then what I will do is I will ask permission to rebroadcast your show on my 24/7 stream, and I'll replay it. That's one of the things I do. And then it enters into my top 25 favorite podcasters I listen to. And I've got a lot on Spreaker. Got this one guy, he comes about halfway across the state from me in Boone, Iowa. His name is Mike Myers. He does a show called Radio Hope Network. And he talks a lot about love, God, relationships. And he does a good program. It's Radio Hope Network. It's heard Sunday through, it's 7 mornings a week. From 8 o'clock a.m. Central Daylight Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and for the Pacific listeners, they get that show at 6 a.m. I don't know what it is in Iran, but I'll check that for you. But anyway, it's the Mike Myers Show, Radio Hope Network. And he puts on a good program. I like his style of program. Puts on good music and talks about God and family. And it's a fabulous show. And there's another guy that I follow. His name is Dave Canyon. He does a program. And what he does, he drives his truck. He's a truck driver. He goes all over, and while he's alone in his cab, he has this mic set up such a way, and he'll talk to you while he's driving on the way home from work, and he talks a lot about different things. 30 minutes. This guy's he's a comedian, sort of. He's a funny guy. And I do like comedians. If they're funny, if they get you rolling. I like comedians. This guy is fabulous. And you'll tune in. Dave Canyon, and it's called Dumbing It Down with Dave. And it's on periodically on the Spreaker. And Mike Myers, my friend there from Boone, is a 24/7 stream as well. And it's on TuneIn. And it's called Muck Radio, MUKRADIO, Muck Radio. This guy puts on some really good program. He got Christian preachers on there, and he plays a mixture of Christian rock and some popular stuff. And it's fabulous. Muck Radio, and it's available on the TuneIn app. And it's a fabulous station. He's fabulous. Boone is quite a distance from me. Boone is in near Des Moines, in the middle of the state, near the capital of Iowa, and it's where he broadcasts from. And he's fabulous. Mike Myers, Radio Hope Network, 7 mornings a week, 8 o'clock a.m. Central American Daylight Time. All right, and I like to promote a lot of my favorite podcasters, and we'll do that again next hour with more podcasters that I stand behind and believe in their program because they put on a good job, just as good as I do. And when I'm not on, I like to promote other podcasters. That's just how I am about that. So, anyway, it's time now to take a look at the weather on the 5s. We're going to take a look at some temperatures across the USA right now.
A nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's Weather on the 5.
And speaking of Black Dragons, he's in Canyon Lake, Texas, and he's got some pretty good weather going on for him right now. Sunny and 67 degrees right now in Canyon Lake, Texas. Casper, Wyoming's checking in, 44 degrees under sunny skies. Phoenix, Arizona is at 83 degrees and fair. Eau Claire, Wisconsin's 59 degrees under sunny skies. Manhattan in New York City, 57 degrees under sunshine. Houston, Texas is 66 degrees and fair. City by the Bay, San Francisco, 54 degrees and fair. I've been in San Francisco, beautiful city. Absolutely fabulous. Shaler Park near Chicago, 58 degrees under sunshine. My adopted home city is Tampa, Florida. I love Tampa. 65 degrees and sunny right now. Actually cloudy. Take that, cloudy. 51 degrees in Portland, Oregon. And according to our friend there, Law Attraction, in Iran right now, 10 degrees. It's cold there. Wow. Let's go back to America. Boston, 58 degrees. In London, England. London, England right now is 50 degrees and cloudy. That's 50 degrees and cloudy in merry old England. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program here on GJRB online. And I'm looking at my clock here on the thing here. And I'm not sure whether or not, now yesterday, for some apparent reason, it was pretty weird. It went over the 2-hour mark. And they didn't notify me that they were going to shut me down here on the CastBox yesterday. I think yesterday. It went over the 2-hour mark yesterday, and I don't know, it just failed to notify. So I'm going to, just in case that happens, because what happened was I did 3 hours on here yesterday, but it only showed up 2 hours I only got 2 hours of that program after it was over. So when I got done and I went into the draft on the CastBox website, it only gave me 2 hours of that show. Yesterday's way out there. It only gave me 2 hours. So I don't think it's recording after a certain time. So what I might have to do is watch and see what it does. And if it notifies me that it's going to kick me off, I'm going to insert a local break on my closed circuit side and come back within about 5 minutes for the final hour. So just to let you know about that, because centigrade. Oh, centigrade. 10 degrees centigrade. I'll have to check that out and see what that is in Fahrenheit, because that's what we got here in America's Fahrenheit. So I'll have to check that and find out what that is in what's 10 degrees in centigrade. What is that equal to in Fahrenheit? I'll have to look that up. Used to have a converter chart for that, but lost it someplace. Let's see if my phone has it. It used to, anyway. But anyway, so it's coming up to 5 o'clock right now, Central Time. So let's see here. Why don't we do that? Let's do an ID here. It is 5 o'clock Central Daylight American Time. It's 6 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific. This is GJRB, and it's 1:30 in Iran. 1:30. And you're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network, on Castbox, GJRB Castbox 5, and GJRB on Spreaker. And thank you for tuning in to the program. And I'm looking at the clock as it reaches about 1:59:50. 5 seconds more, and let's see what it does. It's hitting the 2-hour mark, right on the snot. And it says you have reached the recording time limit for your recording, and it has been saved. So in other words, it can go on. I don't know if you're still hearing me, but it stops recording after 2 hours. This is what happens. It stops recording after 2 hours. Now, I really don't care about that. If it stays going, I have, and I'm broadcasting live on Spreaker too. Okay? So I'm on Spreaker as well, and that continues to record for me. So basically, all I do is take the full recording of this program from Spreaker and uploading it right here on Castbox. So I could really stay on past the 2-hour mark if I wanted to, and I could do that so that I don't lose my audience. So I will stay on. It just says I reached the end of my recording. So at that point, I can stay on because I'm recording on Spreaker. And all I do is just take the Spreaker feed and put the whole entire show over here after I'm done. So I'll stay here. I won't take that break. I'll just stay here. In other words, in this way, the show's in one piece when I'm finished with it. And you can listen to it again without having to, have it, you don't have to switch or do anything. The full show's there. And on Spreaker, I'll just take the Spreaker recording and put it up here on Castbox. So that's how I do that. And another reason too is then I can just, if I run a program break, I'm running the breaks from here that I play on all my stations on my network, and that's how that works. Yeah. Alrighty, 5:02 Central Time. This hour on our program, this hour on the final hour of the Saturday Extra, we do our shout-outs and promotions, which is promoting other podcasters on here. I do that. It's one of my favorite pieces. And I also do a little bit of music and tell you what's coming up on GJRB and our GJRB networks, and give you our schedule and what's going on the air here on the GJRB online networks. So that's coming up this hour. So stick around for that. Right now, why don't we do this? It's called a scroll through social media.
A scroll through social media.
Now that means I go on Facebook, I go on Twitter, I go on all the social sites, and I read postings from basically some of the news outlets that I follow, some of the friends that I follow on here, and what they're saying and what people are saying here online. So that's what I do. I read some of those and some of the people I follow, and see what what's going online here. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. So I kind of go through some things. I got some things I follow here, like TV Guide. It's got an old NBC New York ID. And back then it was WNBT. This is a 1940s identification. Really cool. Let's see, what else do we have here? In the 1940s, now I didn't think TV was, I guess, already started. But I was always told that World War II held up television, or else television would have started in the 30s. So they would have been advanced by the 1950s. If that were the case, they would have more color programming by the time the 1950s were over. And that pretty much was it, because they were already experimenting with color in the 1930s, which is interesting. Let's see, down here a little bit. I want to find out some other stuff here. I don't read the private messages, just the friend messages, and basically some of the news items, various stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, let's go down the ways here. Some more good stuff. Fox News. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas joined Maria Bartiromo of the Fox News Primetime warned that if the Democrats succeed in killing the filibuster, and even adjust, let's see if I can wait, even adjust, let me see what I said. Ted Cruz, he's in Texas, joined a talk show host named Maria Bartiromo on Fox News and warned that if the Democrats succeed in killing the filibuster or even adjusting it to the talking filibuster, it has been mentioned that he will lead to a concentration of leftist power and radical transformation of America's governance. He also warned that the House of Democrats' Comprehensive Election Law Bill H.R. 1, sponsored by Representative John Sarbani of Maryland, would be passed in short order without the Senate filibuster and without changing forever change American elections. Wow. I know this guy. At the present, the Senate is evenly divided 50-50 between Democrats and Republicans, with Vice President Kamala Harris breaking any ties, essentially giving a former majority. Two independent senators, Agnes King Jr. of Maine and Bernie Sanders of Vermont, Yoda, cactus from the Democrats forever, and it is Democratic Senators Kristen Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin of the third of West Virginia. They have been leering without ending the filibuster rule, according to Fox News Primetime. And he remarked that the Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer, Democrat out of New York, probably has Trump screws in his office, illustrating the pressure Manchin is under the side with the rest of the caucus. Now, this all government stuff gets crazy. Ted Cruz is one of those I don't like too much. Anyway, this filibuster rule ended the majority rule. Senate will only require 51 votes to pass anything rather than the usual 60, or as Cruz to put it, making it more like the House of Representatives, not the deliberating body of the history has been. So, yeah. Okay, let's see what else we can find here. Yeah, we got to go out of that. Sometimes it takes me a while to get out of these stories and get back to the main page. I always have trouble with that. So sometimes what I always do is I always just bump out of there and come back into it later. You're listening to GJRB Online. Gary Russen here with you. Hope you're enjoying the program this afternoon. The Saturday Extra, heard every Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time to 6 p.m. Central American Daylight Time, right here on GJRB, GJRB Castbox 5. And we're just talking here in the chat room. We got a lot of traction here to join us through the whole show. Thank you so much for being here for the whole show. I appreciate that. I love the fact that you've been tuned in. Also, ID 215-32004. Yeah, thank you so much for being in here with us today. Always a pleasure when we get people in the chat room and mix for the show. It really does, because I could talk to myself for hours on end, but I don't answer myself. That's pretty much it. Yeah. The other one, though, is a sound effect. I used to have a sound effect button. It's a robot, I think. Me, a robot? Yeah, Danger Will Robinson. Lovely. All right. You're not referred to what I was talking about. It was a TV show called Lost in Space. It was an American science fiction type show in the 1960s. And so I was referring to the robot on Lost in Space, Danger Will Robinson. Let's see here. Let's see. Fake news. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, this is 360 panoramic view of Clinton, Iowa. Okay. Good friend of mine, Joe Wacko. He's got something up there. I got a new Bible thing. I like this new Bible program they got on here. You can get it for free. 20 minutes a day. Get closer to God. Light Bible, it's called. King James Version plus audio. Check that out. You can install it now on your device. All right. Let's see what else we have here. I might try that. Seems like it would be something I could use. Because I used to have what was called eSword. And what happened was my phones are so full. The old one and my current phone, the capacity is a memory. So I can't download that no more. So I'm going to have to use that particular one. And then when I get my new, I'll be getting another phone. So I'll probably download that one and use it. Sounds like it's a very good program. Okay, let's take a look at American primetime television. Let's do that. On this day, March 20th, was a Wednesday night in 1974 on the CBS network. Start of the night was Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. Episode 4, Sonny Bono, star host. Guest was Truman Capote, John Davidson, you never hear of him anymore, Ted Ziegler, and Billy Van and Peter Cullen, Terry Garr, which started a lot of movies after that. Let's see what else we have here. Going down the page a little bit. Cannon followed that at 9 o'clock. These are all Eastern Time. Cannon followed that. An episode called The Stalker. William Conrad, I've talked about him a lot on the show and on my trivia programs. This guy was an absolutely fabulous voice. You talk about a man who had a great voice. I don't know if he did radio. As a matter of fact, William Conrad played the part of Matt Dillon in the radio version of Gunsmoke. He was the one who was the original Matt Dillon. When radio had Gunsmoke. Other parts in there was Luke Askew and Daryl Larson, Cindy Williams, who later on played on Vern Shirley, Russell Thorson, and at 10 o'clock, Kojak came on. Telly Savalas, Kevin Dobson, and Dan Frazier, with stars Michael Glazer, who later on was on Starsky and Hutch. He was Starsky. Deborah Allen, Alexandria Hay, and Kenneth O'Brien were some of the stars on that show. And there's a note here that says Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour had finished taping for the season and had been in repeats for weeks at the 20th of March. and it would be a short time later announced that the splitting up of Sonny and Cher in a divorce. And at that time, Sonny went on to serve in Congress. Cher went on to her career, but she had a relationship with one of the Allman Brothers, and then that kind of split up after that. So that show, that was the last run of that show for that season. Cannon would then return for its fourth season in September. Cindy Williams guest starred in an episode between her appearance and a bit of American Graffiti. That's a good movie. 1973, American Graffiti got me into the world of the oldies. And, of course, she became friends of Fonzie on Happy Days and became Shirley Feeney. John Aniston, father of Jennifer, guest starred on an episode of Kojak. George Savalas was Telly Savalas' brother and used the stage name, let's see what that was, Demetrius, during the first few years of the series. So that's what happened on American television on this night in 1974 on CBS. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was a good series. Cannon was a great series. It was one of those Quinn Martin productions, and it was always any Quinn Martin detective series was fabulous. And I want to welcome a few people that came and left, checking me out. Okay, so if they come in, leave, I don't welcome them. I only welcome them if they're in here for 5 more seconds. There's going to be kind of a little test there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's a robot. Okay. I love it. Okay. Okay, you have it. We'll talk about that Bible series. Okay. But anyway, the general rule is when I'm on here, if people come into the chat room and they come in and then they leave within about a second, I will probably not recognize them. Or I will not acknowledge them unless they stay longer than 5 seconds. If they stay longer than 5 seconds, then I will acknowledge them. Okay, Law Attraction says, it's so nice that I have heard you, GJRB. I'm sleepy here. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, your time. So, yeah, you better get some rest there, Law Attraction. Thank you so much for being in the room today, and thank you for sticking around. It's been a pleasure having you aboard. And come back again real soon. Love to hear from you. It's always a fabulous when we get things. So you have yourself your great night, best night ever. Get some good sleep there, and we'll talk to you in the future. Okay? All right. The morning show Scam with Michael Cassett. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's see. Down here. Goodbye and have a great night. Have your best rest ever. And we'll talk to you again real soon. All right, talking about back to Fox News. Burgess Owen tweeted out his criticism of Biden administration on Friday, admitting a surge of migrants at the U.S.-Mexican border, saying, quote, if you're not having buyer's remorse on the Biden-Harris ticket yet, take a drive to the border. Yeah, they ought to do that. Wouldn't that just be terrific? Whatever the case may be. All right, take a look at some more interesting stories here. Find out here. TV guide collecting. I love TV guide collecting. That's one of my favorite hobbies, I think. If I had the money in the room, I'd be getting TV guides of the yin yang. This one is a collector's old TV guide, and what enjoyed about the old TV guides is that the local stations promoting newscast. Here's an example. This is an example right here. A posting. TV guide ad promoting Charlie Britt of WRDW's Eyewitness News. Opportunity one day to plan to post some more ads right now. And here's a TV guide promoting that local news. And it would be WRDW Channel 12. Channel 12. And where was it? looks like, RDW Channel 12, wherever that's from. That's their channel there. Oh, that's fabulous. Channel 12. Okay, going down the page a little bit. Then we're going to go a little bit into Twitter here in just a little bit. We're also going to do our weather on the 5s for Clinton, Iowa. Before we wrap it up, and we'll do our Spreaker shout-outs and promotions coming up as well. Talking about some of the great podcasters you can check right here on the internet. That's a nice record player. They're coming back with records. Matter of fact, people will prefer to listen rather than listen to a CD, MP3. Some people would rather listen to a scratch of a record. A crackle of a record is comforting to people now. They're bringing back records. Matter of fact, I have to take a look at the sales of turntable or record players, but they are going up. And that's a small stereo manual record player. And I don't know who puts it out, but they're coming out with these record players a lot now here in America. Arif Rabahani is in the room. Thank you. Welcome to the room. And Tyrone Wiggums, welcome to the room. Thank you for stopping in. Hello. How you doing? Welcome to the program. And where are you from? This is I am in Iowa, Quad Cities area. Thank you for having me, sir. Yeah, you're welcome. We are in Iowa, which just on the border of Illinois, Iowa, along the Mississippi River, a town called Clinton, which is just about 41 miles north east of the Quad Cities, known as Davenport. My show is called the Gary Russen Program Saturday Extra. I do a little bit of news, a little bit of music. It's a variety type program. I am a radio professional, went to broadcasting school and everything. No, I don't rap. I'm sorry, I don't like rap music to begin with. I do not rap. I'm a radio personality that does a talk program. I have an AA degree in broadcasting, and so I do radio shows. And it's basically talk, music, and I'm talking about music. Jazz, country, oldies, rock, but Christian rock. But I do not play any rap unless you want to count Toby Mac, a Christian rapper, and a few maybe some Christian rappers. But other than that, you don't hear too much rap on this station. So I do not rap. No, I do not do that. Let's see here. I want to get into the, again, I'll give you the weather for Clinton, Iowa, and we're going to take a brief break here, because I think I might have to do a pit stop before I close out here today, and get things ready for the next program on my closed circuit signal. I got some good people here. Bob Smith. Let's see. We got some different radio stations here. Iowa Radio Reunion recognizes March 21st, 1982, KSMN 1010 in Mason City, Iowa. My occupation? I don't work at this point, but I do have a radio. I have a radio degree. If I have been working, I would have been working for the local radio station. Right now, no, I'm not. Well, I could be retired, but no, I had to take care of my wife. She has she's diabetic, and I can't work because it hurts the programs we're on to help her out. So I don't work right now, and I am not retired. If I was retired, I would still be trying to get on the air someplace. I have a degree in this field, but I never got a break. It's just one of those things, I forked a lot of money over for a broadcasting degree, but this is how I'm using it, by being on the internet and doing radio. She's okay. She's She has various problems with diabetes. She has fluctuating diabetic issues that, numbers go up, go down, and various other things. So sometimes, I'm just there for her to take care of her. And like I said, it can't work at this point, but I like doing this radio because this is where I can at least use the AA degree I was good for and use it for the common good. I will do that. Thank you. We do a lot of things together. And like I said, she can't work either. And so we have this. She does various things. We do volunteer work for our church here in town. We belong to the Church of Christ here in Clinton, Iowa. And we do volunteer work quite a bit. I have another studio for my radio station up there. So I do some stuff for the church and broadcast the church's services and help with soundboard and the usher and all that good stuff. So I'm always busy. That's for sure. Speaking of which, why don't we do this? Let's take a look at our weather for Clinton, Iowa. That's where we're at, about 41 miles due northeast of the Quad Cities. Let's take a look at
now a nationwide weather update. This is GJRB's Weather on the 5.
And let's take a look at what it is. Before we do that, let's take a look at some nationwide temperatures. And I think I need to refresh my page, see if there's an update on some of these temperatures real quick here. And let you know what some of the temperatures are across America. Give you the weather for Clinton, Iowa. And then we're going to take a brief break. And we'll be closing out real soon for today. I had a great time doing the show. Always enjoy doing the show when we get people in the chat room. This is what I like. Just not getting it on Spreaker at this point. So this is a welcome sight here on CastBox when I got great listeners who tune in like you. And so we thank you so much for that, sir. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look here. It should be coming up real soon because it takes a while for that to do its thing. I'm going to click out of that tab. Don't need that anymore. Going to be practicing getting this show up a little better on but once it's done, I'm going to start it. I don't really do a live stream on my website because I'm not really getting the listeners over there or the people visiting my website to listen to the show on. So I'm not really posting my show's live stream on there right now because I just don't see the necessity to do so. So I decided just to post the show after I get off the air. So I'll post the show on my website. It's GaryJ655.wixsite.com. It's a Wix website. You want to get yourself a website? Go to Wix. And they got a fabulous web builder. I stand behind it. I mean, it's so easy to build a website on Wix. It really is. I can't say any more. I highly endorse these people because they are so fabulous. And you can make a website so easily on Wix. It's WIX. And they're fabulous. You get a free domain and all kinds of website. I call that a piece of art. Building a website's kind of like art, in a way. I consider it, and that it really is. It's great. So check that out, Wix, WIX, and check out their web builder. That is just a fabulous place to make a website. Wix, WIX, and check out the website there, GJRB website. It'll pretty soon on that website, our program schedule will be available for you. Okay, so tune in for that. Okay, so why don't we do that? Right now, 68 degrees and sunny in Canyon Lake, Texas. Casper, Wyoming, checking in with 45 degrees under sunny skies. Phoenix, Arizona is 45 degrees and fair. Eau Claire, Wisconsin's 59 and sunny. Manhattan up in New York, 56 degrees under sunny skies. Houston, Texas is 68. San Francisco is 55 under sunny skies. And in Clinton, Iowa here, right now, according to the Lions Station, 59 degrees right now. Winds coming out of the south at 7 miles per hour, gusting to 11. Our relative humidity is 36%, dew point's 30. We have clear skies right now, 10-mile visibility, with a barometric pressure at 30.36 inches of mercury. Looking at our UV index right now, it's moderate at 5. Air quality is good at 44, and we have no pollen. Right now, dry conditions in the area, 0% precipitation. That will increase to a low about 6 tonight. A few passing clouds, low about 36 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the south-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, that 6% precipitation continues with sunny skies in the morning, increasing clouds during the afternoon, while the high is 62 for tomorrow. I like that. Winds are going to be coming out of the south at 15 to 25 miles per hour with higher wind gusts possible. 12% chance of precipitation increases tomorrow night as it gets into the nighttime hours. 12% chance of precip, partly cloudy skies during the evening hours will give way to cloudy skies overnight, and we'll have a low around 45 with south winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Once again, current temperature, according to our Lions Station, 59 degrees with south winds at 7 miles per hour, gusting to 11. Weather on the 5s, 25 and 55 minutes past the hour, any time of the hour that ends in 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, or 55 past the hour on all daytime live shows of GJRB. We still have ID 215-32004 still in here, so thank you for staying with us. Thanks a lot for putting an identification on us so we know who you are. Yeah, do that. Love to talk to you. And welcome to the show. And I hope you're enjoying it. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. You're welcome to join in the program and, just check out some of the stuff we have on here. It's always fun to, take a look at what's out there in Radioland. So we're going to do that and take a brief break. And when we come back, we will do the Spreaker shoutouts and promotions. What we'll do coming up as we wrap up our show, and then we'll do we wrap up our Spreaker shoutouts and promotions, and then we will do what we've got planned for broadcasting. So stand by. We'll be right back. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network, GJRB LPFM, Spreaker FM 88.9, GJRB online on Spreaker, GJRB Castbox 5, and I'm Gary J. Russen. We'll be right back. Stand by.
Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, which is GJRB Online and Radioland. And they have nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between. Like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radioland.
There's a movement going on of people migrating off Facebook because of shadow banning and being put in Facebook jail for something they posted. This is called censorship and shouldn't be allowed in a free country of America. We shouldn't have to tolerate it. The new place for free speech is MeWe. There you can say anything without being censored. Join the site where you are free to speak. That is MeWe. M-E-W-E. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. There's a problem on our roads today, and that is the safety of our children boarding and getting off the bus on busy roads. That problem is drivers who don't stop for a school bus when the arm is out, the lights are flashing, and the stop sign is out, leaving kids in danger of getting hit. Violators of this law could get a suspension of their driver's license and a $250 fine. When you see a school bus stop at a corner, letting off kids, stop 25 feet away from the bus. Don't take that chance. A public service announcement from the National Highway Safety Administration and GJRB Online.
You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming and programming in other great music formats like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA, listen, and enjoy.
End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days.
Uploaded to go public every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central and run live every third Friday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on GJRB. Ed Delgado has his opinions, and he will make them known.
I'm sorry, I got no room in my heart, no mercy in my heart for a child molester, pedophile. Hey, to me, when I think about monsters like that, there is only one sentence to me that is acceptable, and that literally is the death penalty.
Politics, entertainment, wide variety of topics.
I like to point out the racial hypocrisy that goes on from the racist left as they try to pick that on to the conservatives and the right.
Listen to great talk radio at its best. It's Rush Limbaugh, the caramel conservative. Ed Delgado, Tuesday nights live on Spreaker at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Here on Spreaker, and rebroadcast Saturdays, just ahead of the Gary Russen program Saturday Extra on the GJRB Online Network. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radio Land. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between, like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radio Land.
There's a movement going on of people migrating off Facebook because of shadow banning and being put in Facebook jail for something they posted. This is called censorship and shouldn't be allowed in a free country of America. We shouldn't have to tolerate it. The new place for free speech is MeWe. There you can say anything without being censored. Join the site where you are free to speak. That is MeWe. M-E-W-E. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. And back on the air here on GJRB Online, GJRB on Spreaker, GJRB Castbox 5. And we had some people in the chat room when I was gone. I had to do the old pit stop thing. We had Stephen Kennedy stop by, and MRN was in for a little bit. Sorry I missed you. We are closing out the show here at about 20 minutes. About 21 minutes left to go of the Gary Russen program for today. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, you only can hear the first 2 hours of today's show right here on CastBox. But I will have the full 3 hours of this program available to you, uploaded and ready to go from Spreaker after I get off the air. So you'll be able to catch the full 3 hours of the program, or you can listen to the first 2 hours of the recorded program, which wasn't bad today. We had a pretty good show, and you can catch it right here on CastBox. So, you'll be able to catch the show. And I always make sure that I like it because I could go straight 3 hours or more on here. I just doesn't record, only records 2 hours. But I can put that full show on later on the CastBox site. So you can catch the whole show after I'm done. So if you know that. Otherwise, for Spreaker listeners, I know that Heartbreak was not heard because I had my mic turned off, but that's okay. I'll put something in there, music-wise or something, but I'll throw something in that silent spot. Usually try to do that. It'll be in the next couple of days or so a few tunes or something. And, because I know I don't like silence or dead air on my shows, but it'll be that way for a while. Okay, so just to let you know. Didn't realize I didn't have my mic opened on Spreaker, and when that happens, you're not going to hear anything. It cuts it out. So I'll make sure to be more careful about that in the future. All right, tell you what we're going to do right now. Headed into this bump music, and I'm going to do this real quick here. Okay, I'm going to do this, because it's time for, not that, this. Because it is time for Spreaker shout-outs and promotions right now. This is where we promote a lot of our podcasters. Let people know the great shows we put on and some of the great shows they put on. And we're going to do that right now. Yeah, that's right. We got a lot of podcasters out there. A lot of people who put on great radio. Gotta tell you gotta tune into these guys. They got some great radio going on. I'm telling you what, some really good podcasters. And they're going to be part of our new top 25 podcasters. Watch out for trolls, especially Ashton. Okay, thank you for telling me that, Tyrone. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the jungle, let's take a look at our schedule. Let's take a look at some of the great podcasters in our top 25 list of great people who are on the air on many podcast platforms across the country. And that includes Mike Myers, Radio Hope Network. You can hear Mike Myers on Spreaker 7 mornings a week, 365 days a year. He puts on a good show, talks about God, family, relationships. You want to listen to the Mike Myers Show. Radio Hope Network on Spreaker. 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning, Central Daylight American Time. Yeah, it is a great show. 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 Eastern, right here on Spreaker. That's over on Spreaker. Now, another great podcaster is on Spreaker, does all kinds of news, commentary, gives you his opinion in his conservative way, and that's Caramel Conservative, Ed Delgado. He comes from the beautiful state of Wisconsin. He puts on some really good commentary. He's got great guests. He talks about really what's going on in the news. And just check him out. He's fabulous. So check out, it's Ed Delgado, the Caramel Conservative, right here. That's over on Spreaker, and it's live Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. And anyone to tune in Monday night for the blues.
tell you, this guy puts a lot of blues on the radio. He's fabulous. His name is Walter M. Dubiel. Has a show called Blues in the Night. Walter puts on some good tunes, man. Jams at 9 o'clock, between 9 and 10 o'clock, and then the middle hour with Zydeco. And I like Zydeco. It's fabulous stuff. You want to check this guy out. He is good. I like this guy. Every Monday night. Blues in the Night. Check it out. And by the way, check out Blues in the Night on our GJRB 24/7 stream right here over on Zeno. You'll be hearing it every Friday night, except the first and second Friday of the month. Every Friday night from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's on our GJRB 24/7 stream. And it will be back up and running here real soon. We're off the air right now over there, but we'll be back up real soon. That's our GJRB 247 on Zeno.fm. And then you want to check out another guy who does a really great commentary. This guy lays it on the line. He comes from New Zealand. He came to America. He did it the right way. He became a citizen the right way. His name is Josh. He has a thing called OBFSU, our Big Fat Soft Underbelly. And I'll tell you what, this man lays it on the line. He tells you what he thinks. And you want to check out his site. That's OBFSU. And he's fabulous. And he also does a show on Wednesday night, Apolitical. He gives you recipes, talks about health tips, and it's a show dedicated to his late daughter who died as a baby. And he's fabulous. This guy, I like this guy. And his name is Josh, and he does a show called Simone Nicole. And he's on every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Simone Nicole. We're going to check him out. It's fabulous. And it's right here on Spreaker every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then if you are into ghosts, UFOs, and aliens like I am, you want to check out Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Central Daylight Time on Spreaker. And has terrestrial affiliates across the country. And it's fabulous. Puts on a good show. You want to check him out. He has a great show. He has one station in Ridgecrest, California, plays classic rock. It's absolutely fabulous. And his name is Dave Scott. It's a show called Spaced Out Radio, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Central Time, midnight to 3 a.m. Eastern. And it is on 9 o'clock to midnight Pacific from the beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, up in Canada. Check it out. It's Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. And then we got another guy. He comes out of KGRA out of Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. It's a show called Fade to Black. His host is Jimmy Church. Now, Jimmy Church always, every once in a while, he'll fill in for Coast to Coast with George Norrie. But this guy has his own show now, and it's fabulous. Great guest, interesting talk. Check him out. It is a real good show. That's called Fade to Black with Jimmy Church. It's on KGRA, Alternative Talk Radio on Spreaker. And we have one more we want to check out. This guy has always been. I got to tell you what. This guy was introduced to me by my friend Black Dragons, and he has a great show. His name is Gary Anderson. Calls my name. Gary Anderson. He has a show called Night Dreams. This guy has a great show. Talks a lot about UFOs, aliens, spaceships, science fiction stuff. I'm a sci-fi geek. I love science fiction. And I'll tell you what, you want to listen to this guy. He puts on a good show. And he talks about, not just about that, he talks about science fiction movies, horror movies, and stuff like that too. So you want to check him out. He's on every night, I believe about 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time on Spreaker. Those are some of the great podcasters, some of the top 25. And as soon as I rank them, I'll be giving you the top 25 of the week of podcasters. Now, promote some of the new ones. They'll enter in our charts. But, check them out. And all you have to do is go to Spreaker. That's www.spreaker.com/user/5120525. That's my Spreaker public site. And check out that show. So all the shows are on there. I'm going to put that top 25 on my website real soon at GaryJ655.wixsite.com. And you'll find all the shows over there as well. So I'll be working on that one. And we're drawing to a close of our show here with about maybe 11 minutes left to go. And I want to thank all the people who stopped in and said hi or stopped by and said hi here on the Castbox chat room. Tyrone Wiggums, thank you so much for stopping in. I want to say a very nice thank you to Law Attraction in Iran. She stuck with us pretty much the whole night till like about 2 o'clock in the morning her time. So I really appreciate it. That was absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for that. We also had Vihad stopped in. We had a few other ones that are numbers. ID 210-97258. And a few other ones that were numbers. And ID 215-32004 was in here since the beginning. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And, of course, like I said, Tyrone Wiggums, very nice guy. Hope we hear from him real soon. He was fabulous. Thank you so much. You warned me about a guy named Ashton, who is a troll. So we're going to be keeping an eye on him. If he comes in here and gives me some trouble, I just hit the old block button. Because I don't put up with trolls, folks. I got to tell you, right now, if you're going to come in here and troll me and cause me all kinds of problems, I hit the block button. Because I will not put up with that kind of razzmatazz. You want to come in here and you got nothing better to do in your life? To come in here and give me problems? I hit the click. I clicked the block button. Bye bye. Also, I want to put in that shout outs and promotions. Another guy that's going to be hitting in at number 5 on our top 25 survey of podcasters, and he comes out of Texas, and he might just make it to the number 1 spot. Matter of fact, he is number 1 here on Castbox, so we might just throw him up to the number 1 spot for a while because he's one of the best ones. I got to tell you, this guy's fabulous. He comes out of Texas, down around Canyon Lake. He puts on 2 hours of great music each night, different kinds of music. He has a jazz blues night on Monday. He has oldies night on Tuesday, generations on Wednesday. Thursday he does decades type music and stuff like that. It's just fabulous music. And then Friday night it's party night. So he does a lot of really good, all kinds of dance music and stuff. So you want to check this guy out. He's fabulous. His name is Black Dragons. Black Dragons Radio, Canyon Lake, Texas, 7 to 9 p.m. Central American Daylight Time, right here on Castbox. So check out that guy. He's fabulous. Black Dragons Radio. So he was, I don't know why, he said he was going to make my show today. But apparently, I guess he had something going on. So, sorry that I didn't get a chance to catch us today. Black Dragons would have been in, I guess, but he didn't make it this time. I'm sorry to hear that. But it'll be available for to listen to him on the site. And, of course, I promote him. So that when he hears this show back, he'll hear his promotion for his station again. So just let people know to tune in Monday night. Now, that leaves me with about 8 minutes left to go in my show. And I usually use this time to promote what I got coming up on GJRB. Well, as I said from the very beginning of today's broadcast, I'm not going to be on the air for a while. I'm going to take a break from doing the show. I might be on next week, but I can't guarantee it. I'm going on what's called spontaneous. So I'm dropping to what's called spontaneous. What that means is I could be on any time. Anytime. What I'll do is I'll post before I go on the air on all the social sites. So if you want to follow me on Spreaker or here on Castbox, just hit that follow button.
where you see GJRB. Okay, GJRB online. Here on Castbox, if you see that, you just, if you're listening right now live, just hit that follow button. And you should be able to get notified when I'm going to be on the air. Now, I do a trailer before airtime. 1 hour before airtime, I'll do a trailer. That means I got maybe a 5-10 minute preview before I go on the air the following hour. You know what that? Yeah, it's like maybe about a 5-10 minute preview with some music in the background, kind of thing. And I will tell you what I'm going to do on the show, how long it's probably going to be. I come on the air with some commentaries, something that might bug me, something like that, or I talk about the program schedule. I have a thing called GJRB Schedule Update Podcast. And what that is it's a program schedule program. It just talks about what we got coming up on the air, what programs are coming up. And that's what I'm doing right now. Now, the reason why I'm going to be off the air this week is because I'm getting a new computer coming in on Wednesday. This computer that I'm using right now is a good computer, but it's starting to wear out. And so I'm getting a new laptop computer to the station. And it's going to be fabulous because I'll be able to do more with it than I can with this computer. One of them is I'll be able to do video versions of my program on YouTube. I'll be able to go back on the GJRB TV YouTube channel. And I'll be having footage and videos and stuff like that. I'll be doing some videos, live streaming. And I might even do some vlogs, too. I don't have a really good camera for that, but I do have one. But the quality to do it with vlogs, it's hard to say. But I might, try something. But you want to check that out. That's going to be something we're going to do. You might like that. And the vlogs is what it is. And I'll be doing a lot and videos, live shows on the YouTube channel. GJRB TV YouTube channel. And that's where I'm going to be doing a lot of programming. A video version of the Gary Russen program. A video version of Way Out There and radio, television, and movie classics. And I'll be showing you some of those videos of some of the ones I've been playing on that show. MRN, welcome to the show. Hope you kind of stop by. I got about 5 more minutes left of the show. We're going off the air pretty soon. But thank you for stopping in. You can listen to this show. I'll have it available as soon as I'm done here, the full 3 hours. So you're welcome to stop in and listen to the replay. But we'll be back on the air live real soon as I get my new computer. Which will be coming this week. And I got a lot of work to do on it, putting up files and stuff. So I'll probably be off the air for a while I'm getting a computer switch. So, no radio for this week. And I don't know about next week. I'll try to be on next week, can't guarantee it. But we're going to be on spontaneous, which means you never know when we're going to be on the air. And I will post a 10-minute trailer before airtime to let you know that we're going to do a short, maybe hour broadcast. Keep you updated on the new computer and when we're going to be doing regular programming again. So I will have that on the air. And I will post before airtime. When I'll be doing this. So spontaneous, that's what that means. I post before airtime, a 10-minute trailer, and then I go on the air. My wife and I plan on doing something. I'm going to be doing some Sunday Christian preaching, gospel stuff. So be watching for that here on GJRB on Spreaker and here on Castbox. On GJRB Castbox 4. So just to let you know about that. Tell you what, we're going to be going off the air. It's closing time on the Spreaker end. So we're going to end on Spreaker. I have a few more minutes left to go here. So seconds seconds. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. That's going to wrap it up for the Gary Russen Program Saturday Extra for today. You have yourself your best night ever. Have a great night, everyone. And for local listeners, stay tuned now for big band music and old-time radio on 107.1. Have your best night ever. So long, everyone. This is the GJRB Online Network.